Hi everyone, welcome to week 3, and what I'm going to do is just give you a brief overview of the work we'll be doing this week. And before I get started, just want to say happy July 4th to everybody. And I know this is a really busy week for everyone with the holiday and just the amount of work we have. But I wanted to say that I appreciate all of your hard work, and I know that you've been working really hard to get your assignments in on time and navigate this accelerated schedule. So it's definitely appreciated. So with that being said, let's talk about the assignments for this week. So first off, we are finishing up Essay 1, the final draft, and that's going to be due this Wednesday. And if you haven't had a chance yet, please check out the rough draft feedback I gave to you if you uploaded your assignment to the Dropbox. You can just check out the feedback I've provided, and hopefully you'll find some helpful tips there to keep in mind as you finish revising your paper for this Wednesday. And other than finishing up that final draft, this week we're really focusing on jumping into Essay 2, the literature review, which is our next major project. And Essay 2 is an interesting assignment, and I think in some ways it's an assignment that students are more comfortable with because I think it's very similar to the type of writing you'll be doing in pretty much any field you go into. Whether it's psychology or business or a field related to science, reviewing the literature, the scholarly literature being created in that field is something that is happening very often. And what we're doing is we're choosing a topic that's related to gender, or it could be related to, race. And any topic related to either of those areas in the United States is fair game. And after you choose your topic, you will then locate 5 or more academic articles that are available in the library databases that explore that topic. And then you will summarize those sources, and most importantly, you'll synthesize those sources. And this week in our class discussion, you'll get some experience doing that kind of synthesis. But basically, when we talk about synthesis, we mean that you're going to take multiple perspectives that are represented by the different sources exploring the same topic, and you're going to compare and contrast what those scholars are saying about the topic. So identifying areas where they agree or overlap, and then also pointing out areas where they disagree. And often the most successful literature reviews really identify how there are, maybe 2 or 3 contrasting perspectives on the same issue. And in our class discussion, you'll be looking at how 2 different scholars explore the topic of race and the Obama presidency. And those scholars, as you'll see as you read the conclusions for those articles for the class discussion, you'll see that the scholars agree on some aspects of the topic, but they also disagree on other aspects. And as you create a practice synthesis paragraph or 2 for that assignment, you'll point out some of those similarities or differences between the conclusion paragraphs of those 2 different articles. So we don't want to jump ahead of ourselves too much, but I just want to point out that that idea of synthesis is something that we're going to keep coming back to as we move through Essay 2. And it's really the meat and the heart of the assignment. And so to get started on Essay 2, this week you'll be completing an annotated bibliography, and I provided a sample annotated reference in the Module 2 area, but keep in mind, you're completing 5 of those annotated references, right? You're finding 5 sources that you would like to use for Essay 2, and then you're going to create an annotated reference for each one. And The sample, I think, shows you, pretty much what you need to do, but basically, an annotated reference is an APA reference, and then beneath it you'll have a paragraph in which you summarize the source, giving an overview of its main ideas, main points, and then at the end you'll take a couple sentences to identify an overlap between that source and another source, identify a point of contrast between that source and another source, basically to do some kind of synthesis. And the idea is that after you complete this annotated reference, you'll be able to take those annotated references from your annotated bibliography and then plug them into your rough draft. And then obviously you'll have to tweak them and revise them to make them fit an essay format. But hopefully by completing this annotated bibliography, you'll be getting a lot of that work done for yourself so that you won't be so overwhelmed when you get to the rough draft, basically. So moving on to class discussion number 3. So we already talked about this a little bit. You're going to be locating 2 different articles in the library databases, and specifically in JSTOR, which is my personal favorite of the library's databases here at University of Findlay. And again, you don't need to read all of the articles. You can if you want, especially if you think this idea of race in Obama's presidency is an interesting topic for SA2, then you're welcome to use these 2 articles if you choose to go that route. But otherwise, just skip ahead to the concluding paragraph, just the last paragraph in each essay, and read through both of them, and then the class discussion asks you to synthesize, compare and contrast what the authors have to say about their topic in those concluding paragraphs. Now, to get to the articles, you'll have to log in. If you're off campus, which I think most of you are, you'll have to log in through the library using your University of Findlay information. And if you have any difficulty with that, you definitely want to, just contact the library, Schaefer Library, and they should be able to work that out for you pretty quickly. And also, there's a link provided for class discussion number 3, which is a library tutorial created by a University of Findlay librarian specifically for English 106. And it provides a lot of helpful tips and a really strong overview of how to use the library's databases. So definitely check that out before you jump into the class discussion. And then the last written assignment for this week is journal number 1, so your first journal assignment for the class. And for these journals, I tend to keep them pretty reflective. You have enough work that you're focusing on, so I don't want the journals to be overwhelming. So kind of think of the journal as just a chance to kind of take a step back and reflect on the kind of work you've been doing for English 106, the kind of writing you've been doing, and just reflect on that and get some perspective on what you've been doing. And for journal number 1, I just ask you to, reflect on your experience producing writing for this class. And it's really open to how you want to approach that topic, but you might think about how the kind of writing we've been doing for 106 compares or differs from writing you've done in other situations or for other classes. Is the writing we've done for this class more challenging, less challenging? How so? And it's really open to you as long as you're looking at the experience of producing writing for our class. Another thing to think about is, this is an accelerated class, so you might think about what is it like to write in a class where, the deadlines are so one after the other, so close together. Does that affect your experience of writing? Does it make it more stressful, for instance? I'm really interested to see what your thoughts are about that. Otherwise, you have some readings for this week, but those are the written assignments that I'm looking for. And again, happy July 4th, and I hope, even with all of the work we're doing, that you get a chance to relax and enjoy yourself a little bit. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, good luck this week.